Okay, so let's talk about structure and how to approach this. What we're going to do is we're going to do it just like we've always done. Okay, what we're going to do initially is just do really, remember we do there, this is after you do your blind and gesture drawings, but remember we do one of these gestures to kind of just sort of map out, blob out a little bit where we need to be. I'm using the setup that I had that I showed you guys on, let's move this over just a little bit. So you kind of blob out your pieces, all right? Then we do our regular sighting stuff, okay? Now, the orange is relatively easy, in terms of its structure. We're going to use this, our grid, to make our circle. Now, granted, it might not be a perfect circle, but you want to see this. Remember, I want to see all of your work. Now, let's create, we're going to do our sighting here. Now, we're going to do our bottom piece of wood first, which basically acts like, one of our boxes or one of our books. So I'm going to do, make a sighting grid, kind of going like this. I'm doing this from the front corner. Now I'm holding up my pencil each time, but I'm kind of going through this rather fast. And we're going to, measure up 2. I'm not going to draw a full grid because it's just going to get a little bit confusing. And from here, I can start to figure out some of my angles, the usual things we do to make sure that we've got this basically where we want it to be. Now, the other thing we're going to do here is we're going to draw through, okay? Remember, we're drawing what we can't see, so what we can see makes sense. So I don't know exactly where this piece of wood ends back here, but there we go. Okay. Now we have this piece of wood on top. What do we do about that? All right. It works the same way as this piece of wood, except it's just tilted. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this to a point. Now you have to kind of look at your drawing to make sure you've got this where you need it to be. At a point where the front corner would be vertical, okay? Because when you tilt this wood, everything tilts with it, okay? So the vertical lines we have here, let me move this up a little bit. Vertical lines we have there, our vertical on here, it's just, we're tipped a little bit, so it's just vertical in terms of itself. So I can see my front corner is actually here, all right? And I'm gonna do the same thing I did at the bottom one. Got my front corner, I'm gonna go along the bottom like this. Sorry, I have this at a little, I do want to get this at a horizontal angle so you can kind of see it as true as possible. I'm going to make myself a vertical scale here. I'm going to measure this front corner. See how far I have to come out. Going each direction. This actually comes down a little bit farther here. And we'll do this on the way up too, like that. Okay. So from here I can start to, hold up my pencil, try to figure out the angles. Look how it relates to the other piece of wood as well. I'm gonna get these guys vertical as they need to be. So that's basically how you do this. So that's what I'm expecting for you to do when you do your structure drawing. Also make sure that things line up, like this corner to this corner. Make sure you sight the distance here. I know I didn't do any sighting in between here and here, but I expect you to do that too. So, okay, great. Onward.